Welcome to our Speaker Spotlight conversation. I'm Brandon Taylor for Information Week. Our upcoming live virtual event titled Strategies for Maximizing IT Automation, presented by Information Week and ITPro Today, is launching on Thursday, March 28th. And so I would like to welcome you all to our Speaker Spotlight conversation. And this is where I will be connecting with a very special guest today, Barak Turovsky, who is the Vice President of AI at Cisco, and also the former director of product for Google Languages AI. He has 25 plus years of experience in artificial intelligence, specializing in generative AI, large language models, as well as computer vision, also ads and commerce, cloud applications, and enterprise software. As the current VP of AI at Cisco, he leads research, engineering, and product teams that develop cutting-edge AI technologies and products. Previously, Barak spent 10 years as the Director of Product Languages in the AI area within the Google AI organization, focusing on applying cutting-edge artificial intelligence and machine learning technologies to deliver magical experiences across Google Search, Translate, Ads, Cloud, and various other products. Barak will be our featured keynote speaker, presenting a session titled, Will Generative AI Help to Accelerate the Adoption of IT Automation? And this session begins at 12:15 p.m. Eastern on Thursday, March 28th. And so the Speaker Spotlight is a space where I like to allow our featured keynote speakers to introduce themselves and just give us a small preview of what we can expect from their presentations. And so Barak, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. Will you walk us through your career and just explain how you broke into the tech industry?
Thanks, Brandon. It's a pleasure to be here. My career, as you mentioned, started more than 25 years ago with something that we currently call AI. Obviously, at that time, it was not called AI at all, but or machine learning. And then I progressed through the ranks, mostly initially in the technical leadership roles in my home country in Israel. My last role was CTO of a large startup. Then I moved to the US for UC Berkeley, a master's in business administration, and then moved both to product and engineering leadership roles in enterprise software companies like SAP, mobile commerce. I was the first product lead for mobile commerce at PayPal, then did a stint in Microsoft as a director of mobile and local advertising. And finally, you mentioned I was a director and head of, for more than 10 years, I was the director and head of product for Languages AI at Google. I cynically love that I worked on this quote unquote esoteric topics like large language models long before they became the hottest thing on earth. And now I'm at Cisco leading AI for one of the Cisco business units.
And so when we first connected a little over a year ago, you had recently left your role as the Director of Product for Google Languages AI. Prior to that promotion, you served as Head of Product for Google's mobile commerce team, where you spearheaded, developed, and launched Google Pay, formerly known as Google Wallet. At the time, Barak, did you expect the concept to revolutionize retail?
Yeah, so I generally believe, as I mentioned, given a lot of the experience that I had at retail, I also did not mention one additional role that I took between Google and Cisco. It was the role of Chief Product and Technology Officer, responsible for engineering, product, and technology at a large startup called Trax Retail that's specifically using computer vision to actually automate IT aspects of retail execution and offering value both to retailers, brands, and consumers. So regarding the question of Google Wallet, yes, Google Wallet, I believe the mobile payments at that time was the very early days. And obviously you can see it's definitely revolutionized retail. We now see Apple Pay and Google Pay. Now it's actually now again called Google Wallet. So it's basically now back to that name. That basically allows everyone with their mobile phone to load their payment methods and use it to pay, seamlessly pay, apply coupons, apply loyalty cards, etc. So it was very fun project that I'm very happy to see that it got so much traction. We introduced this product to more than 1 billion Android phone. Apple did the same, etc. But now, obviously, AI is the next thing that will definitely impact our everyday life, but also IT automation in a big way.
When we think about a lot of the projects that you worked on in your career, how difficult is it to translate your vision to scale products that start as an idea to reach the hands and pockets of billions of users?
Yeah, I believe it starts with vision, and the vision in all cases should start with the user. It could be a consumer, it could be an enterprise buyer or IT department, depends on the needs. But at the end of the day, you need to have a vision that adds significant value to your user. It's also very important to think big, especially in new products that didn't exist before. As an example, there is a great article called The Great AI Awakening that talks about the product Google Translate that was the first product that used what we now call LLMs in 2015, 2016, long before the current boom. Then we actually need to create multiple breakthroughs on the research side, on product side, etc. So it's very important to choose the use case and the product that adds so much value to consumers, especially if you're starting with new technology.
How did those experiences, not only at Google, but PayPal and some of the other opportunities in your career that you've mentioned, how did they catapult you to where you are today at Cisco?
Part of my work was that I, in many cases, worked on innovative technologies, basically doing this kind of 0 to 1 experiences even before AI. So, for example, at PayPal, I was one of the first product leads, the first product lead that took the product to scale from more or less zero in payment volume to like $1 billion in payment volume within 2 years. And that was very novel concept. Nobody really knew. I could not forget a lot of retailers that I would talk, they would tell me, and you're talking about mobile in 2008, they would say, oh, I don't want to do it now. I want to be fast follower. We will wait until it gets traction. And then obviously in 2 years, it was unbelievable traction. And a lot of those retailers were behind eBay and Amazon and other companies because they were waiting for too long. So I think part of my claim to fame was that I always worked on innovative technologies. So I basically was now lucky enough, probably in 3 ways of disruptive technology. One is mobile, specifically mobile commerce and mobile payment. Then the second one was the first wave of AI. We're currently in the second wave of AI. The first wave of AI was 2015, 2016, where Google Translate actually introduced this concept of using what at that time we called it deep neural networks. Now we call it large language models, that you can actually use it at scale. And that included huge innovation, both on the software side, but also on the hardware side. Google had to create specialized hardware to actually serve this model, as we do today with GPUs. GPUs at that time couldn't even serve it well, so we had to develop our own hardware that is now called TPUs, tensor processing unit. That's Google's specialized hardware. And obviously now with generative AI, that's the third wave. So I believe part of my journey and how I ended up at Cisco is that in many cases worked on those innovative technologies that will transform our lives.
Will you explain why you believe that creativity and entertainment are one of the best use cases for large language models? I know you've spoken to how they assisted Google Translate and some of the way that you were able to innovate with AI in that way. So why would you say that creativity and entertainment are best for LLMs?
Yeah, so there's creativity entertainment in one additional area. So let me share my screen real quick, and I will show real quick a grid that I use, and then we will obviously expand on it during my keynote. Let me know when you see it.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, so let's focus on this one. So on a high level, I believe every use case that you evaluate the use of generative AI and large language models, you need to look at that on 2 dimensions. The first dimension is fluency, like that's basically what people are excited about. Technologies like ChatGPT, that it suddenly creates output that is sometimes better than human, especially in creative field, as I mentioned, like creating a video, creating potentially a draft of a book or draft of an image, etc. But what people forget, there is another dimension called accuracy, and those are very different dimensions. You always need to evaluate things on 2 dimensions. What's more important, high fluency or high accuracy? And LLMs on a high level are way better on fluency today. They sometimes could what's called hallucinate or be less accurate on the accuracy side. So if you look at the green side, the left side is green bubbles. You're talking about use case that I call them. You can start with the creativity, creator productivity. It's like writing a greeting, writing a poem, writing a science fiction book, writing a children's book, creating images for marketing purposes. All those, it's perfect for fluency because you really don't have a right or wrong answer here. So that's why this use case is great. But if you look at the yellow cases, for example, writing business memo, email, or creating a business presentation, creating a sales draft, creating a customer support draft, all those use cases are also a good fit. And the reason is, the reason they're yellow, I call them mid-stake use case, meaning the stakes are higher, but the good thing is that users have control, and because it's a draft, they can always check for accuracy. And the hardest use case, I call them roughly information/decision support use case. So think about kind of Google search. When you ask a question, hey, Google, I want to buy an appliance, give me an answer. Hey, Google, I want to book an hotel, give me what to book. Or
Right.
Google, what is the earning growth of Cisco in the last 10 years? Here, you might need a story, but what you really need is accuracy. If accuracy is not great, then it's not going to work. That's why I believe those use cases, it will take a bit more time, because accuracy at scale is very hard to achieve. You cannot really put a person behind every search query. But anything that you do, what Microsoft call copilot, a draft, you can always adjust it. And you're already adding a significant value to users by creating a good story. For many people, they're good with facts, but they're actually struggling with creating a good story. And creating a good story takes time, however. That's why I believe use cases like creative productivity or workplace productivity will be a best fit in the short term for large language models.
I know you mentioned that we're currently in the third phase of AI. What is one use case for generative AI that isn't highlighted enough, in your opinion?
Well, there's many. I believe I mentioned entertainment. There are other use cases
Right.
related, for example, to what I call customer-facing interactions, customer support, technical support, sales, marketing. That's the use case that I believe it gets good attention, but there is not enough. I don't think we yet got to a lot of scalable deployment on that front. So I think that's the use case that might be interesting. Anything related to coding obviously get a lot of attention, but coding could be very domain specific. For different domains could be very interesting. And finally, education is an interesting use case. As you probably saw,
Definitely.
ChatGPT passes low bar exams, North-Sync exams, school exams with flying colors. I think there will be a big transformation of education as we know it, thanks to AI.
And so when we think about your upcoming keynote presentation later this month, there's been a burning question in some corners of the tech industry. Will generative AI help accelerate the adoption of IT automation truly?
Yes, I do believe that. As I mentioned, even when I worked at Tract Retail, computer vision AI already transformed IT automations for specific use case related to retail execution. We're now seeing a lot of use cases that I mentioned. I mean, anything today is powered by IT. Creation of a movie is powered by IT. You can create way better IT automation there. There is a ton of processes today to support customer-facing interaction, sales, marketing, customer support, technical support. All those use cases with help of those co-pilots, I believe, will be transformed and helped with IT automation.
What energizes you most about your current role with Cisco in 2024 and beyond?
Well, Cisco is about, effectively IT, networking, security, etc. So I'm very energized to create a new amazing AI product that will help with IT automation.
And Barak, I want to thank you for your time today. And we definitely look forward to watching your keynote presentation on Thursday, March 28th, beginning at 12:15 p.m. Eastern, titled Will Generative AI Help to Accelerate the Adoption of IT Automation? Again, this keynote session will be a part of our upcoming live virtual event presented by Information Week and ITPro Today, detailing strategies for maximizing IT automation. This overall broadcast will begin at 11 a.m. Eastern on March the 28th. So please make sure to register for our live webinar at the link within the description box below this video so you don't miss this wonderful event that we have planned. My name is Brandon Taylor for Information Week, and this has been our Speaker Spotlight conversation with Barak Turovsky. Barak, thank you so much.
Thank you. It was a pleasure, Brandon.